Hey y'all, it's Mama Beth. I'm in the kitchen. If I don't look like my normal self, well, it's cause I'm not. This is a public service announcement for anybody that lives with a woman, is married to a woman, is related to a woman, works with a woman, or just freaking knows a woman. Okay? This is for anybody that has anything to do with females. Okay? Buckle up. This is probably not safe for work, so I'm going to have to put that in the title. I usually don't cuss a lot, but I think I may end up cussing in this one. I haven't had any estrogen in 5 days. Now, let me take a deep breath. Try to center myself. I have been meditating and praying more in the last 5 days, I think, that I have all year long, and that's saying something because I've had a bunch of surgeries and a bunch of shit go wrong. Anyway, all right. My doctor's been out of town, so I couldn't get a refill on my estrogen. Now, back in, shit, I don't even remember when, June, I had a complete hysterectomy, okay? Everything was screwing up. I had PCOS, and I've had a bunch of other shit. And anyway, it wasn't working right anymore, and I said, just get the shit out of me. Get it out. I don't want it anymore. I'm not having any more babies, and I'd be appreciative if you just get all that mess out of me. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't like it. I never liked it in the first place. So be gone. And Dr. Siegel, who's a wonderful doctor, he used the Da Vinci method, and which is like computer, and it's like playing Pac-Man, I guess. You get in there and you see, and they don't actually have to, he doesn't have to go in and dig everything out. He just got both, well, I only had one ovary left because I had an ovary taken out back when in my mid-30s because it decided to take a trip and attach itself to my uterus for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, Dr. Siegel went in there and got the other ovary and the fallopian tubes and everything, the cervix, and just sewed up right along the top. So basically, you know, I couldn't have sex for like 6 weeks, but everything feels normal again, except I don't have any fucking estrogen in my body or progesterone. Now, I've been taking that since I had the surgery done. When I started, he told me when I started to feel crazy to call him. Well, my husband was like, call now, when I started acting crazy. And I went on estradiol, however you say it, estradiol, and then I take the progesterone as well. It works. Let me tell you, the crazy was gone. There was no more crazy. And you have to have a mammogram once a year, which really we ought to have mammograms, you know, if you've got insurance and they pay for it. Hell, get mammograms once a year at least. They aren't comfortable, but you need to get them. I got to go get one done because my doctor said it's time to get it done and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I got to go have my boobs squished to get that done. But I want to talk about why you need to be real careful around menopausal women because you could lose your life. I remember when my mother started doing this. Of course, she's crazy anyway. She's got narcissistic personality disorder. And yes, I'm a psychologist and I can recognize it. And shit, as soon as I read what it was, I was like, ooh, that's my mother. And she's blocked from all my social media and I don't talk to her anyway because she's crazy and will not get help for it. And she's really difficult to be around. But she's always had that. But when she went through the change, menopause, all of that, she was in her, let's see, how old was Madeline? Madeline was like 10. So I guess Mom was in her 40s, late 40s. And because she had me when she was 24 and I had Madeline when I was 20, Madeline was 10. So yeah, added up somewhere around there, late 40s. Anyway, I had moved to North Carolina. I was working for a large media company. And it was 98 degrees. It was middle of summer. She came down. It was in July. Now, if you've ever been in Saxapahaw or Mebane or Burlington or Greensboro or Raleigh in that area of North Carolina in July, you know it's hotter than Satan's nutsack, basically. And it's humid, so it's awful. Well, I had a nice little white house and I had good air conditioning. And Mother had the air turned down to, it was like 58 degrees in there. And it was $98 outside. My electric bill was $700. She only stayed with me 5 days to help me get moved in. My brother came down. He and I were in sweats and sweatpants and, you know, sweatshirts and socks. And I had to bundle my youngin' up. And she's like, Nana, why has it got to be so cold? And my mother was sitting there and she was putting her head in the refrigerator and the freezer. And she would go from being nice 1 minute to being just as hateful the next. And one funny thing happened. I'm so thirsty. This is driving me crazy. One night, now I was working, so she and my brother had some time off from school. It was middle of the summer. I don't think he was working yet. I think he was working on his doctorate at the time. But anyway, so they were there and they were watching Madeline and working on getting the house in order. And it was a pretty little house. But I would go to work and then I would come home and work on the house. And one night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard Mom, or I heard something rattling in the kitchen. Well, now, my bedroom was off of the kitchen door. It was like an old, what they call a shotgun house. And, you know, and then Madeline's bedroom was towards the front, and we had a spare bedroom. And then we had a living room and the kitchen and bathroom, and then the dog porch and all that. Anyway, I heard her rattling around, and if I'm rambling, it's because it's the crazy. This is what this does. So I hear her rattling around. I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? And she said, I can't go to sleep. I want a shot of liquor. Well, now my mom, shut up, Spanky. I am talking. You're just going to have to be down. Anyway, Mom always, when she couldn't sleep, she'd have a drink. She'd have a mixed drink, usually like rum and Coke or something like that, or a screwdriver, something like that. Mom and Dad always did. They weren't big drinkers, but they were social drinkers. And if you couldn't sleep, you go get you a drink. And Mom said, I got this and it's so smooth, but I'm not sure what it is. And I went in there and she had my Cuervo Golds, the 1800. They had just come out with it and it was expensive. And she had a glass about this size. Now this is an 8 ounce. This is 8 ounces. And I bet she had a good 4 ounces or more in it. And she's just swigging it. I said, Mama, if you're going to drink tequila, that is tequila, first of all. She said, oh, is it? It doesn't taste like tequila. I said, because my mother does this. She's got blonde hair and she plays the dumb blonde perfectly. I mean, that's like her thing. Whereas apparently mine right now is the bitchy redhead. So I said, Mama, if you're going to do that, I've got limes and salt. She said, what are limes and salt for? I was like, you lick it, slam it, suck it. She was like, oh, that sounds awful. And my mom pretends to be a prude when she wants to be, but she's not. She likes to tell dirty jokes, and she can tell some dirty jokes. But anyway, I got the limes out, and I sliced them up because, you know, hell, I used to bartend. I bartended for years. So I sliced them up, and I got the salt shaker out, and I showed her how to do it. I said, you put it in one hand, the wedge, and I said, look, you put the salt on, and I said, you lick the salt, you slam the shot back, and then you bite down on the lime. And she said, oh, lick it, slam it, suck it. I said, yeah. And I did a couple shots with her because honestly, she woke me up and I was going to have a hard time going back to bed. And that was back before I knew that I had Wilson's and I could drink. And I didn't drink a lot, but I like to drink occasionally. Y'all shut up, Daddy's home. My husband just came in, so sorry about the dogs. But anyway, so she sat there with me and did, I guess, maybe 4 or 5 big shots, like 2-ounce shots, like the big ones. And she got loopy as all get out, but she went to bed. But one of the things, the reason I was telling you that is to tell you this, that one of the things that when you're going through the change that makes you so freaking crazy is you can't sleep. Hang on just a second so I can let my husband in so he doesn't get on camera because he hates to be on camera. Hold on just a minute. Sorry about that. My husband came in. He brought me my estrogen. Thank you, Lord. Okay, so back when my mom was going through it, I kept saying, Mom, are you going through the change? Are you going through the change? What is wrong with you? And everybody around her said she's going through the change. And Daddy even said it. But she wouldn't admit to it. But what she would do would be call me before work and tell me what a piece of crap daughter I was and how she should have done different and she wished I wasn't her kid and all these horrible things, the most horrible things that you could say to your child. She said every bit of it and she'd say it to me. And I was in my 20s. And she would hurt my feelings and have me crying so bad. There were times that I would have to call the office and say, I'm going to have to come in late. I'm sorry. I've ruined my makeup. My mother's called me. She's crazy. She's got me all upset and I've been crying. and just move. If I've got anything you can reschedule, please reschedule it for later. Thank God I had a great assistant. She wasn't a secretary. I don't like to use the word secretary, but I had a great assistant. It got to where I had to tell them if my mother called, because she would call whenever she would get upset. I was her punching bag. And if you know anything about people with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, they'll have the black sheep that they pick on all the time and that they use as a punching bag, and they tell everybody how horrible they are, and nothing they ever do is right. I was a black sheep. And then they'll have a golden child. Now the golden child was my brother, and we laughed about that. He couldn't help it. He was just the one she picked to favor. She was his favorite, and she'll tell you to this day that she likes him. And she doesn't, we don't have anything to do with each other. I don't care for her. She doesn't care for me. She's my mother, and I respect her like the Bible says, but that's about as far as it goes. I don't want to go hang out with her. But anyway, the change made it a lot worse. She got a lot uglier. And so I knowing now, when I was getting ready to have my hysterectomy, knowing what a nut job she was when she went through it, I thought, oh, I can't do that. I'll lose my husband. He is such a wonderful husband, and I really do. I am very lucky. I have a wonderful husband, and I have a great relationship with my daughter. We talk every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day, text and FaceTime all through the day. So I have really good relationship with both my husband and my daughter, and I thought, you know what? I don't want to do to them what my mom did to me, and screw my life up and screw my relationships up. So as soon as I was able to get on the hormone replacement, babe, I got on it. And you know what? I could sleep. I could sleep so much better. I could think straight again. I didn't fly off the handle angry, because there were times before I had my hysterectomy that where my estrogen was so low, because you make testosterone. Everybody makes testosterone. Men make more of it than women do. But testosterone is what gives you, aggressiveness and temper. It helps you build muscle and all of that. Well, when you go through menopause for women, usually we have progesterone and estrogen also. And if we don't have those to balance out the testosterone, all we got left is, aggressiveness, and, we don't have anything to tone us down. Now, men also produce estrogen and progesterone, but they do it in small amounts, and that's why men are able to control their tempers, some better than others. But it is a chemical imbalance. So that's why I'm saying, if some women hit it early. One grandmother, I talked to her, my dad's mom, she said that she stopped her monthly cycles when she was 35 years old. Never had a hot flash one, nothing was wrong. And she was fine. She just didn't have period anymore. Now, my other grandmother, she had a lot of problems, and she had to have a complete hysterectomy, and then they had other issues, and they had to go in several times. So she had a lot of trouble, and she was forced into early menopause, and it changed her behavior a lot. On my mother's side of the family, a lot of people had my aunts, great aunts, it seemed like a lot of people had, hysterectomies early. They just had a lot of problems. Now on my dad's side, not so much. So I guess I take after my mom's side of the family in that. But if you are going into the change, if you're starting to feel real crazy, not like, and I use crazy as a general term, and people say, oh, aren't you a therapist? Don't you hate that word? No, there's sometimes crazy just is a good blanket statement, a blanket word for when you're acting off and acting in a way that is detrimental to your life and detrimental to the people around you. Crazy. So, we all have PMS to some degree. When we ovulate, we have, a change in our body, and a lot of times, we'll start feeling a little more sexy and, in the mood more. And then it's like right before the period starts for that week before, there have been times when you couldn't talk to me. PMS was really bad for me. And, I took birth control for it when I was younger, and that helped a lot. But then later on I went on an IUD, so I didn't get any hormone help. But I did have, therapy and stuff like that. And so I learned that during that week I needed to be on my toes and not do things to be ugly to other people. You know, don't jump down somebody's throat. Your period's starting. And it's real funny if you're a man and you live with your wife for a long time, you'll know before she does that it's her time. My husband was like that. He'd say, "Oh, you're ready. It's about that time." And he was right. He could tell by the change. But, your behavior changes. And it's all hormones. And there's nothing you can do about it either. And in the last 5 days, I have, I swear I could kill kittens. I could put my fist through a wall or bang my head against a wall. I have snapped at my husband. I have been ugly. I've had to apologize to people for being grumpy. I don't want to talk to anybody on the phone. I don't want to talk to anybody at all, which is not good given what I do for a living. But, we all have our problems. But I'm going to take my estrogen now, and hopefully I'm going to be a lot nicer. And all I'm saying is if you know somebody that's, say, in their late 30s, 40s, and they're starting to act like this, tell them to go to their gynecologist and get their hormone levels checked, because you can do it by blood test. And mine weren't dropping real fast. They were fluctuating. My estrogen was fluctuating, blah, blah, blah. But I was having pain, and I was have amenorrhea, which means your periods are all screwed up, basically. So it's just easier to get rid of it. But take the hormone replacement therapy. Oh, you can get pellets if you aren't responsible enough or can't remember to take a pill or 2 pills every day. You can get these pellets put in your back. It's just underneath the skin. They put it just right above your butt, and it gives you, it lasts, I think some last 3 years, some last 5 years. It just depends on which one you get. They have those hormone replacement pellets, and you don't feel them, and it's an in-office procedure. They do make the cream, and I asked my doctor, hang on, my mouth gets so dry from this. I'll be so glad when the estrogen gets back in my system. The cream that they were talking about on The View, I remember Rosie O'Donnell was talking about, she wouldn't take hormone replacement therapy pills, but her doctor told her to use the compounding cream. She heard about it from her friend. It's no more effective than the pills, because I asked my gynecologist about it. My gynecologist has got a slew of degrees from like everywhere from Johns Hopkins and Yale, and he is amazing, and he speaks, and I love Dr. Siegel, and he's a straight shooter. And he said that the cream, they would not test it and its effectiveness against the regular hormone pills, because one, they knew that it would not be seen as more effective, because subcutaneous, which is underneath your skin, the absorption into the bloodstream that way cannot be more effective than by pills. Now if it was a sublingual, which means the drops that you put under your tongue, that might make a difference. But they never did any tests to prove that was more effective than just taking the pills. And the pills are not expensive. It's not expensive. Most of it's covered by your insurance. If it's not covered by your insurance, you can afford it. So I'm on estradiol, and then I'm on another one. It's I forget. Anyway, it goes with it. Estrogen, progesterone, and you're probably going to need something to help you sleep if you still can't sleep. And I take the Balsamra, and it helps. That really works. 15 milligrams a night. It keeps me asleep. I don't have problems going to sleep as much as I do staying asleep. I'll sleep for 3 hours and then wake up and I'm screwed. But the Balsamra works real well for that. So if you've noticed that I've acted crazy for the last few days, this is why. And I can't help it. I've tried real hard. And be gentle with anybody else in your life that's going through this. Your mother, your grandmother, if you're real young and watching this. And I don't know why you would be real young watching this, because I'm kind of more of a, teens and up channel. And see how my brain's ping-ponging? It just makes you crazy. The crazy. That's what it should be just called. Not menopause, just crazy. All right? I love you. You love you. If you're going through this crap, don't kill anybody. And if you know somebody who's going through this crap, get them to the doctor. Get them on hormones and be good to them. Be gentle with them, and buy them a lot of sugar cookies and chocolate, because honest to God, that's all I've wanted for the last 5 days is sugar cookies. and Gatorade. And all I've done is pee. But anyway, I love you. You love you. Bye.